The solar eclipse is actually all about new beginnings when it comes to taking a leap of faith, confronting our beliefs, the acceptance of imperfections and flaws, imagination and your intuition, selfless service and dreams to not only to yourself but to other people. The eclipses are all about new beginnings regarding of all the matters concerning your personal and your professional life. Solar eclipse affects everybody almost the same way, and solar eclipse almost has psychological effects on every individual no matter what zodiac he belongs to. So it's not specifically to the houses, it's only specific to the individual no matter what zodiac he belongs. In fact, of late I was reading even from the NASA news. Now, mark my words, what the NASA people have to say about these eclipses. They say there is no evidence that eclipses have any physical effect on the humans. However, eclipses have always been capable of producing profound psychological effects. For millennia, solar eclipses have been interpreted as portents of doom by virtually every known civilization. These have stimulated responses that run the gamut from human sacrifices to feelings of awe and bewilderment. Although there are no direct physical aspects or effects involving known forces, yet the consequences of the induced human psychological states have indeed led to physical effects. Now, in a nutshell, for a layman, I would say that solar eclipses have a very strong, powerful impact on a human mind. And how that mind behaves after that is what can affect the physical part of our humans. But yet there is nothing to fear, because time and again I have been focusing on the eclipses and making my clients aware and also making my listeners aware that we don't have to fear, because this knowledge of knowing that solar eclipses do have a powerful effect on our psychological mind, and how we can control that mind is in our hands. And this impact is always, especially the impact of solar eclipse which is happening in August in 2017 is affecting and is happening in the Leo, which is so powerful that it can actually have the effects and after effects for almost 6 months after it has occurred. Nevertheless, knowing this that okay, this is going to happen. Now, what exactly happens is what I am going to be telling you further on. Having studied the Vedic astrology also very extensively, it actually affects, and the Westerners also believe that what is written in our Vedas holds quite true. It says, since Vedic philosophies consider eclipses as a disturbance of the cosmos, it is also determined that eclipses often set forth regeneration. Eclipses in a fire sign usually brings forth to those countries where the eclipses are visible things such as dissatisfaction of its people about the ruler, people becoming ill due to infections or unknown or incurable diseases, even death of an important person to that country. However, this is an axis taken into account of two polarities. Mixed with everything else is a sudden change of weather, damage of produce and dairy due to pests or infestations, especially in the farming areas, are also likely to happen during the eclipses. However, all does not have to be disheartening. It is also a time that the universe will give its support to those that are humble in nature, to be surprisingly ingenious and give them the strength and the creativity to find the ideas they need to move forward in life. The same humble people will use their creativity to open those avenues which we have never seen before, but this means to close the door of the mundane and take on the path of the unknown, which can be frightening. Now what happens during this solar eclipses? Huge shakeups take place. Suddenly you feel that you were sitting in a comfort zone and things are not behaving normally. Now rather than fearing why they are not behaving normally, one would say, okay, I fear, though I am fearing, but yet I don't fear, because I know that after this storm will be the most clean and the most fresh atmosphere. So I have to use my creativity of how to get things moving forward again. Sometimes we just give up. Sometimes we say that my life was going very smooth and suddenly this shake-up has happened. Out of the blue things have happened. Things never happen out of the blue. They actually simmer, and then suddenly one fine day they find that they have opened up like a volcano, and after all the lava has flown up, you can actually rebuild your life in a much more newer and a much more fresher way. Now when this solar eclipse is happening, what is every zodiac people born in different zodiacs are required to do? They need to be more determined and they need to be more charismatic, because it's happening in the sign Leo, whose master is the sun. So Leo creates a guidance of cordiality, eagerness and delight. People will feel inspired, gracious and liberal. It is a good time to chase romance, be collective and to help others. Like the lion that denotes Leo, people may feel self-assured but also require gratitude and appreciation. Attention needs to be taken to avoid over-emotional spectacles while attempting to clutch the limelight or in a management position. So no need to be so verbose, no need to be so aggressive, no need to so push through the things. Basically it says is that during the solar eclipse, shakeups will happen, but you don't have to fear the shakeups. Breakups may happen in relationships, but you don't need to fear that. Because when an individual is confident within himself, he knows that if these shakeups and breakups happen, I can actually make my life more interesting by being creative and knowing that how do I weather these storms. Once I am ready for the cold weather, I brace myself with a coat or an overcoat depending upon the degrees of the weather. I am more conducive and better prepared to do good things and new things. When in cold people do skiing, they don't stop going out for adventure. The snow does not tell them that you have to be homebound. They find ways and means to do different things. Similarly, when these shakeups are happening or when you feel that things around you are crumbling, you only have to be mentally prepared that how I can build my present so that my future is perfect once again. So the Leo energy can occasionally cause us to be more prejudiced. Now what happens mentally to us? Like in NASA they said that, you know, the things happen psychologically to us, so we make and break our world. So what will happen during this solar eclipse is that occasionally we may become more prejudiced, persistent, gratified, irritated, arrogant, narcissistic and feel superior. So see, when the moon is zipping around and this eclipse is taking place, we have to think with the mind and heart both at the same time. So the heart has to be secure, the heart has to be completely fearless and the mind has to be completely creative. I am prepared for the shakeups to happen. I know that the problems will come, whether it's in my working sphere or whether it is in my personal sphere. How I'm going to tackle them completely depends upon the will of an individual. So I want everybody out there to be prepared that solar eclipses, be prepared for major shakeups. But when I have already made my plans, when I have already made myself aware and made my plans for contingency, my life will be smoother. And like I always say, life is never easy. But if you're mentally prepared and you've made up your mind to be happy, there's nothing that can actually obstruct you and you'll be much able to handle whatever life throws at you. I want everybody to understand that flaws is an important system in our lives and are revealed around the time of the eclipses, prompting us to redo and start afresh. We may find ourselves completely reworking some areas of our life. Something ends in order for something else to start new. So allow it to end so that you can start afresh and new. We may be called up to give up something in order to move forward into the new chapter of our lives. Although this new may be unrecognizable, it is important to allow the necessary surrender to the unknown and have that faith that you deserve nothing but the best and the best shall come to you. Now, during the eclipses, this is a time when we should build our powers of acceptance, belief and compassion. Take a leap of faith, believe in something higher, start a creative project, practice putting ourselves into the other shoes rather than getting annoyed with other people, just trying to feel what the other people are thinking. Revitalize ourselves through experiences that require imagination, compassion, or that simply represents a break from the routine. Give ourselves selflessly through compassionate service and to share a dream with others. For some of us, circumstances are such that we need to pay more attention to our spirituality. Nagging problems from the past 6 months need to be dealt with and put behind us. Now, when we start doing all these things, this introspection, taking out the me time, knowing which other areas and knowing that ruffles are happening, you will be better prepared to cope with it for the next 6 months. But if you don't pay attention and if you don't try to clear the clutter in your life, chances are then you will be troubled for the next 6 months. So solar eclipse even shakes the lazy people up that they either better pull up their socks or chances are they'll be with wet boots.